A flock of wild ducks was flying in formation, heading south for the winter. They formed a beautiful V in the sky and were admired by everyone who saw them from below. One day, Wally, one of the wild ducks in the formation, spotted something on the ground that caught his eye. It was a barnyard, with a flock of tame ducks that lived on the farm. They were waddling around on the ground, quacking merrily, and eating corn that was thrown on the ground for them every day. Wally liked what he saw. It sure would be nice to have some of that corn, he thought to himself. And all this flying is very tiring. I'd like to just waddle around for a while. So, after thinking it over for a while, Wally left the formation of wild ducks, made a sharp dive to the left and headed for the barnyard. He landed among the tame ducks and began to waddle around and quack merrily. He also started eating corn. The formation of wild ducks continued their journey south, but Wally didn't care. "I'll rejoin them when they come back north in a few months," he said to himself. Several months went by, and, sure enough, Wally looked up and spotted the flock of wild ducks in formation, heading north. They looked beautiful up there, and, well, Wally was tired of the barnyard. It was muddy, and everywhere he waddled, nothing but duck poo. "It's time to leave," said Wally. So Wally flapped his wings furiously and tried to get airborne. But he'd gained some weight from all his corn eating, and he hadn't exercised his wings much either. He finally got off the ground, but he was flying too low and slammed into the side of the barn. He fell to the ground with a thud and said to himself, "Oh well, I'll just wait until they fly south again in a few months. Then I'll rejoin them and become a wild duck again." But when the flock flew overhead once more, Wally again tried to lift himself out of the barnyard. He simply didn't have the strength. Every winter and every spring, Wally saw his wild duck friends flying overhead, and they would call out to him. But his attempts to leave were all in vain. Eventually, Wally no longer paid any attention to the wild ducks flying overhead. He hardly ever noticed them. He had, after all, become a barnyard duck.